Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn history, today the Olmecs, and after we've done that, we're going to do stretching, and if you participate in stretching, das wird der Augenmuskel. Now I have this chapter called Olmecs and Chevins, and we're doing now the Olmecs, and we're going through it and try to gather together all the information we can have here. We can find here about the Olmecs. Olmecs and Chevins. People began farming in Mesoamerica, which is Mexico and Central America, 9,000 years ago, almost as long ago as in the Middle East. By 2000 before Christ, there were permanent villages and extensive farms growing corn, beans, squash, and other crops. Then between 1200 and 400 before Christ, a remarkable culture was developed by the Olmecs in Western Mexico. There we have it. Okay, 9,000 years ago, people in Mesoamerica, which is Mexico, and Central America, started to do farming, and 4,000 years ago there were then extensive farms growing corn, beans, squash, and crops. And then 3,000 years ago the Olmecs developed a remarkable culture. Crops, beans, squash, corn, beans, corn, crops, other crops. These are just three: corn, beans, squash, and other crops. Corn, beans, squash, bean, corn, squash, corn, bean, or corn or squash. 9,000 years ago, first farm, Mesoamerica, Central Mexico, America, and then 4,000 years ago, extensive farms growing then corn, beans, or squash or other crops. And then 3,000 years ago, a remarkable culture, the Olmecs, was developed, the Olmecs. And then 3,000 years ago, there was then a remarkable culture, the Olmecs living there in Western Mexico. The Olmecs had a counting system and calendar, but no writing system, so little is known about them. We're going to say that at the end. They had a counting system with numbers. I think I can do that. They had a counting system with numbers, so it's understandable. Counting system with numbers, and they had a calendar to know which day it is. They had a calendar, but they had no writing, and so it's only very few known about them. But we say at the end of our presentation, which we're preparing here. The ruins of a huge Olmec pyramid have been discovered at La Venta in Tabasco, Mexico. Okay, in Western Mexico, and the ruin of a mighty temple of a huge Olmec, of a huge temple of the Olmec was discovered in La Venta, Tabasco, Mexico. La Venta must be the city, Tabasco the state, and Mexico is the country. At La Venta in the region, I call it region, the state, in the state Tabasco in Mexico. In La Venta, Tabasco in Mexico. In La Venta, Tabasco, Mexico. I think that works. In La Venta, Tabasco, in Mexico. It's only little known because of it. The Olmecs carved huge so-called babyface heads from basalt with enormous skill, apparently with only stone chisels since they had no metal. The Olmec heads were carved from huge blocks of volcanic rock weighing up to 14 tons. No one knows how they were moved. It's a picture. It's basalt for rock. And they were doing, for example, art also in, I think it can be called art. They were doing carvings. Art. They were carved into basalt, which is, I'm just going to say it, I think it was right, into basalt, which is a volcanic rock, faces, when they have a nickname of baby faces. Into huge volcanic rocks which could have a weight of 14 tons, and these faces have a nickname, baby face. By 2000 before Christ, huge religious sites were built all over what is now Peru in South America. I think that is part of the Chevins. From 800 to 400 before Christ, the Chevin civilization spread from the religious center of Chevin de Huanta in the Peruvian mountains with its Chevins, and 100 to 700, America's first true city developed at Teotihuacan with vast pyramids and palaces. Teotihuacan may have been the world's biggest city in 300 with a population of over 250,000. The main street at Teotihuacan near Mexico City is known as the Avenue of the Dead. It was originally 2.5 kilometers long. Now this is Mexico City, so it's also Mexico. It could be part of the Olmecs, but we're just going to skip it. We have enough of the Olmecs. What do we have? We have the Olmecs. 9,000 years ago did people in Mesoamerica, which is Mexico and Central America, farming. And 4,000 years ago, there were extensive farms, and the people were doing crops and beans and squash and other crops. And then 3,000 years ago, there developed a remarkable culture with the people, the Olmecs. And I'm going directly on with a thing about the carvings. And that's first visual. And there's, for example, then a mighty remnant. And one remnant of the Olmecs is, for example, a mighty temple at La Balsa in Tabasco in Mexico. And they were doing carvings. They made faces, with the nickname baby faces, into volcanic rock basalt. And these rocks could weigh up to 14 tons, and no one knows how they have moved them. Yes, that's good. With stone chisels, because they had no metal. With stone chisels, because they had no metal, and they were called that. It is only little known about the Olmecs because though they had a calendar and a counting and number system, they had no writing system. And that is according to Mike Kelly's World History. Now we are 7 minutes in. We have to do now the stretching. And even if I do it in one take, we need 2 minutes for it. But one take will give you. So that was the part of history Olmecs. We're going to do another part of there. Try to save it all when in the presentation, in a recorded video. If you are here for history, you can go directly to the next part of history or history Olmecs. We will do another stretching. If you stand, participate in the stretching minutes. Good and stable stance, and we're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And breathe out, go over to one side. Breathing in and out, rib cage. And breathe out back into the middle. Breathing in. And out over the other side. Breathing in and rib cage. And out back into the middle and the arms down. Exercise. Now once you go, good and sit. Hands, you're breathing in. And out of one hand slides down the neck and the other shoulder stays down. Breathing in. And out we're taking one arm off. Breathing in down the rib cage. Out into the middle. Again in. And out one arm slides down the neck. Breathing in. Out taking one arm over. Breathing down the rib cage. Breathe out and now our feet stand together. We're doing the aeronautic aerobatic aeroplane. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And breathe out and one arm comes down. Now breathe in and reach. And breathe out one arm. Breathe in. And out one arm down. Breathe in and reach. And out the arm up and again down with the arms. Now shoulder circles. Go to same stance and shoulder circles. Now start forward. And now backwards. And now breathe in and shoulder up. Breathe out, let them fall down. Again in. Last time in. Out and down. Now we plug up, breathe in, lift the arms up. And reach high. Pretend to take an apple hanging high on an apple branch. Turn it a bit around and then to harvest it. And now we shift our arms up to a T, breathing in. And out we go, over just to the upper part of the body. And in. And out over to the other side. Again in. Out. Again in. Out. Again in into the middle. And out we're leaning onto our knees with buffalo fighting its hangover. Breathing in. And out we bring one shoulder in front. And in, shoulder back. Out we have one shoulder. And in. And out. And out. And out, and we're hanging down. We're doing the Niagara Falls. We only have to come deeper down by breathing deep in through the nose into the chest. And by breathing out through the mouth. Breathing in. And out over to the leg. Breathing in. And out over to the other leg. Breathing in. And out back up. Now close the feet, and we do the Santo Angelo. Breathing in. And now adjusting down. Again in. And out. Now breathe in. And out we come slowly with the round back up, making it to the backwards shot. Now we come close. Toes are pointing to the outside. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. Breathing in all the space between the heels, and we're breathing out with the heel down and placing the elbows against the inside of the knees. Now we're feeling straighten up, pretend to come against the wall. And breathe out and come with the back up. Breathing in. And out and down. Breathe in and straighten the back up. And out again, up and back. Breathe in. And up and down. Now breathe in. Out we're coming slowly in one straight line upwards. And we arms out. And now we seahorse pose. Have a good standing leg. The upper leg with the heel on top of the knee of a standing leg. Do this only if you can do it without injuring yourself. We're breathing in and breathing out and we're sinking down. Let's look shortly if we are able to do also a separate video about the challenge, but I don't think the informations are enough. It would be the same beginning with Mexico, with Mesoamerica, 9,000 years, and also farming. But no, Central America is not Peru. Peru is not in Central America, I wouldn't say that. It's pretty clear in South America. I have a change of your necking around. By 2000 before Christ, huge religious sites were built all over what is now Peru in South America. From 800 to 400, the Chavan civilization spread from the religious center of Chavantehuantan in the Peruvian mountains. That is not much. And when we ever think of Teotihuacan, that is Mexico again. So I don't know to solve it in. Now, that was the last exercise. Now we're stretching. Are we ending the last exercise? The trunk igniter, we're breathing in and out. And in. And out. In. Out. Okay. Out. One last round, breathe in. Out. Again in. Out. Breathe in and close the legs. And out. That was the stretching. I thank you very much, and the next time.